Hey everyone, in today's activity we're going to be looking at Earth's magnetic field using some bar magnets to just investigate what that actually means. For this activity you're going to need a few different materials. You want to make sure that you pick up this activity packet. On here we're going to need two bar magnets. Right, you can see that they have a north and south end. We are going to need a shaker full of iron filings. You can see we have iron filings. So you got some holes poked out here. So that's where the iron will come out of. We're going to need a sheet of white copy paper. We're going to need a sheet of plastic, a metal paper clip, and a compass. Which for these, they come in a package. We're just going to leave them in the package just because, well, they work whether or not you have it. And also make sure you have a ruler as well. All right, so what we're going to do for this activity, I'm just going to walk through some of the basic instructions. Again, it is a pretty self-explanatory activity, but we'll just walk through the first steps. So our first thing we want to do is we want to set up our white piece of copy paper. Right. And then we're going to place our magnet pretty much in the center of it. Okay. So we're just going to start with one. And over that, we're going to put our little plastic sheet. Try to line it up with your copy paper. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our iron filings. Remember, this is just iron kind of ground up into essentially almost like a dust. And we're going to hold it about 10 centimeters above our bar magnet. We're going to flip it over and we're just going to start sprinkling. We're pretty much going to sprinkle most of the iron filings out of our little cup here. And then make some observations of what we see happening. Now, to really get out of the holes, the best way to do it is to just shake it back and forth. So not up and down, but back and forth. Again, try to get it all onto the sheet. The more, the better. Again, before you do this, make sure that the lid is on tight. That will ensure that they don't all just dump out at once or on the floor. All right, that's pretty good. We got most of the sheet covered. All right, we can start making some observations here. See what's going on. So on your activity sheet, what you can do is you can just draw a simplified version of what you see emerging. And what we should see emerging are some magnetic fields. Again, I'm not going to give anything away here, but if you kind of connect some of the patterns that are going on here, right, in and around the magnet, you can start to see we have some circular fields that are emerging from our bar magnet. One thing you can do as well is if you take your compass, right, and hold it level around your bar magnet, you can kind of see how the compass is also going to be affected by your magnetic field. Okay. So, if you're following along on the activity sheet, we should be looking at questions 1 and 2. And flipping it over, taking a look at where to place our compass kind of in several different positions around our bar magnet. Okay. Drawing the pattern of the magnetic field. Then we get into part 2, talks a little bit about paleomagnetism, which is something that we introduced in one of our previous classes. Take a few minutes to kind of read through this and see how that matches up with the magnetic fields that you're seeing on your table. The reading proceeds to the next page. Okay. And then we get to part 2. Right. Now, part 2 is going to be pretty similar, and this gives you an opportunity to kind of experiment. In part 2, instead of just having one bar magnet, you're going to have 2 bar magnets on your piece of copy paper. And you want to make sure that you split them apart by 4 centimeters, not inches, 4 centimeters. So if I'm going to add another bar magnet here, I would add them 4 centimeters apart, right? Obviously move this one over. All right, so for part 2, you'll have 2 of them kind of set in the same orientation. Do your iron filings again, right? And then clean it up. And then you can try with one reversed, do your iron filings. And then you can play around with a few different arrangements. You could have it all in one line, separated by 4 centimeters, and any other arrangements that you can think of. Real quick, I'm going to go over how to clean up, right, when you're done with each iteration of your magnetic fields. What we want to do is we want to make sure that all our iron filings end up back into our cup here. So we want to carefully remove the top, kind of ensuring that they are not spilling out. If you take your plastic sheet, you're just going to carefully fold it up. We can lift it away from the magnet. And then cut into view. And then let them all go back in. All right, and notice you should have a relatively clean sheet. If you get a few more here, try to get any stragglers like this, holding it upside down, release the magnet. Kind of becomes a little bit of a fun game. Again, I do expect to lose a little bit of our iron filings, but shouldn't be a significant amount, right? Do your best to try and clean up as many as you can. If you feel like having 2 pieces of copy paper under the bottom would be beneficial to you, go for it. All right. And then once you're all cleaned up, please put all the materials back. Always ensure that the top is secure. And finish out the questions.